Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. We're now officially into Monaco Grand Prix week, one of the most polarizing races on the Formula One calendar. Some people absolutely love it for its rich history, glamour, and the sheer challenge it presents, while others criticize it for the lack of on-track excitement. Let's be honest. Overtaking in Monaco has become incredibly rare. The track is extremely narrow, and with today's massive F1 cars, there's barely any room to make bold moves. As a result, the qualifying session on Saturday often ends up deciding much of the race's outcome. But what about you? Let me know in the comments. Do you appreciate Monaco for its tradition and uniqueness? Or do you think the modern size of the cars makes it impractical for proper racing? Well, in an attempt to spice things up and address some of these concerns, Formula One has introduced rule changes specifically for this year's Monaco Grand Prix. Traditionally, as in every race, drivers are required to make at least one mandatory pit stop, but now, for the first time at Monaco, they will be obligated to make 2 pit stops during the race. That's right, teams can no longer rely on just one strategic stop to carry them through. But there's more. The new rules also require that drivers must use 3 different tire compounds over the course of the race. That means they will have to use the soft, medium, and hard tires at some point, adding a completely new layer of strategy and unpredictability. This could massively shake up the race order since different cars will be running on vastly different levels of grip and performance throughout the race. A car running on fresh soft tires could be dramatically faster than another struggling on worn hard tires. The aim here is clear: to create more overtaking opportunities, or at the very least, to generate strategic variability that makes the race more dynamic. Imagine a driver on a fresh set of softs rapidly closing in on a rival nursing a set of worn hards. Suddenly, overtaking becomes a real possibility, even on this notoriously tight street circuit. Additionally, having more pit stops inherently increases the chance of pit lane errors, botched strategies, or even unexpected gains for some teams. A well-timed pit stop could leapfrog a driver up the order, while a slow stop or poor strategy might cost others dearly. This alone could make the race significantly less predictable than in previous years, where the driver who claimed pole position was almost always the favorite to win. Moreover, this rule change is likely to discourage the common tactic of nursing tires for as long as possible, with leaders often driving conservatively to extend a single stint through most of the race. With 2 stops and mandatory use of all compounds, drivers will be more inclined to push harder, knowing that they'll need to pit again anyway. This could lead to some exciting on-track battles as drivers behind attempt to gain positions through either pit stop strategy or aggressive driving. So what do you think? Do you consider this a smart move by F1 to address the challenges that Monaco presents with modern cars? Or do you still feel that, despite these changes, the Monaco Grand Prix has become an outdated event that perhaps no longer belongs on the calendar? There are definitely strong opinions on both sides, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments. It's race week for the highly anticipated Monaco Grand Prix, one of the most unique events on the Formula One calendar. Unlike most other races, Saturday's qualifying session is absolutely crucial here. It often determines the outcome of Sunday's race. Given how difficult it is to overtake on the tight, narrow streets of Monaco, securing a good starting position can make all the difference. Of course, here at Grand Prix Plus, we're bringing you all the latest details straight from the circuit, with exclusive images, updates on car setups, and other breaking news. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We post videos every day covering the very best of the Formula One world. And if you enjoy this no-nonsense, straight-to-the-point content, make sure to leave a like. It really helps support our work. Now, speaking of updates from Thursday's activities in Monaco, the drivers have already started arriving at the circuit for what's known as Media Day. This is when they participate in press conferences, conduct interviews, and hold key meetings with their engineering teams to begin setting up their cars for the weekend. One driver who definitely made an entrance was Lewis Hamilton, who turned heads by arriving on a supersport motorcycle, capturing the attention of everyone around. Also present was Gabriel Bortolito, the promising Brazilian driver, giving interviews to Band TV. And, of course, the reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, is already on site and getting prepared for the action ahead. On the topic of team news, Ferrari unveiled a special livery for the weekend. While it's not a major overhaul, it does feature a meaningful tribute, a subtle nod to their long-standing partnership with Shell. This collaboration has now lasted an impressive 75 years, and to commemorate it, the number 75 has been prominently displayed next to the Shell logo on the car. Meanwhile, we've also gotten a closer look at some technical details, particularly regarding the front wings and, more notably, the rear wings of various teams' cars. These components offer key insights into the aerodynamic configurations teams have chosen for this challenging track. Monaco is famous for requiring high downforce setups due to its tight corners and low-speed sections. As expected, teams like McLaren and Mercedes have brought cars with heavily loaded rear wings, focusing on maximizing grip and cornering speed at the expense of straight-line velocity. This makes sense, as there are few long straights at Monaco where low drag would offer a real advantage. On the other hand, both Ferrari and Red Bull have opted for slightly less draggy configurations. Their setups rely more on the overall mechanical grip and downforce generated by other parts of the car to get them through Monaco's intricate corners. It's a calculated risk, hoping that their overall balance and chassis efficiency will compensate for having slimmer wing profiles. This, of course, is Monaco, a circuit where the slightest miscalculation can send a driver straight into the barriers. The track is unforgiving and demands the absolute utmost precision from every team and driver. But that's not all. There are more updates coming throughout the Monaco weekend, and you can be sure we'll cover them all here on the channel. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back with another important update from the world of Formula One. This time focusing on Aston Martin and the much-anticipated return of Adrian Newey to the paddock. For the very first time since joining Aston Martin, Newey will be present with the team this weekend, and we already have the first images of him walking through the Monaco paddock. Alongside these visuals, several new details have emerged about his role this weekend and whether he'll be making any technical contributions. Speaking about this, Aston Martin team principal Andy Cowell clarified Newey's role for the weekend. According to Cowell, Newey will initially be present as an observer, aiming to gather first-hand insights on how the data from the wind tunnel and simulations translate into on-track performance. But that's not all. He will also be closely analyzing how the entire team operates, immersing himself in the daily workflows and identifying potential efficiency improvements. Crucially, and contrary to some previous speculation, Newey will indeed be contributing actively to the team's efforts this weekend. There had been uncertainty over whether he would engage in any technical decision-making or car setup adjustments, with some believing that his role would be strictly observational. However, it has now been confirmed that Newey will leverage his vast experience from Red Bull to offer technical suggestions aimed at improving the car's setup specifically for Monaco, a circuit that demands precision engineering and optimal mechanical grip. Andy Cowell emphasized that Newey will be identifying strengths and weaknesses in both the car and the team's operations, and will be fully involved in all technical meetings throughout the weekend. His input is expected to shape the setup of the car, ensuring it operates at peak performance on the unique and challenging streets of Monaco. Furthermore, it is anticipated that this is not a one-off appearance. Newey is expected to attend several more races this season. The goal is for him to gradually integrate with the team, familiarize himself with its processes, and, of course, contribute to ongoing development. This incremental involvement is designed to ensure that by 2026, when the new regulations come into force, and when Aston Martin aims to fully unleash their new technical package, everything is perfectly aligned. The hope, as always with Newey, is that he will help propel Aston Martin to the top of the grid, something that both he and the team are deeply committed to achieving. With Monaco being a circuit where driver skill and car setup are paramount, having someone of Newey's caliber and expertise embedded within the team could prove to be a significant advantage. His extensive knowledge of aerodynamics, chassis dynamics, and race strategy, which helped Red Bull dominate for over a decade, could make a real difference for Aston Martin this weekend. As we look ahead to the race, expectations are running high. With Newey now on site, closely involved and offering his valuable insights, there's a palpable sense of optimism within the Aston Martin garage. Could this be the turning point that allows Aston Martin to achieve a strong result in Monaco and signal their intentions for the remainder of the season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe that with Adrian Newey now actively participating, Aston Martin can secure a notable result this weekend in Monaco? And more importantly, do you think his presence will be the catalyst that transforms Aston Martin into a title contender as we head into the 2026 era? Stay tuned here at Grand Prix Plus for all the latest news and exclusive insights from the F1 paddock.